Oh, that's really good. Perfect. For anyone that's just getting on, I'm just taking out the perm rods. Excuse me, anyone that's watching the replay, I'm about to be taking out the perm rods. And I have Judge Judy playing in the background. So I did these perm rods earlier when I was at school. This is the bricklayer, the bricklayer method. Um, I'm gonna take these out, see what the curls is looking like, and then I'm just gonna wing it. Just whatever I do next, whatever I do next. And I'll come on live and show you guys what the bricklayer method is. Um, let me see. I'll probably. Let me see. Okay. Did I use all what Eddie gave? Did I go from Eddie? Oh no, I didn't. Okay. Rather serious. So yeah, I'll come back on live when I get some more. Hello. Hi Beverly, April. How are you doing? For anyone that's just getting on, I did these perm rods earlier today when I was at school. This is a bricklayer method perm rods. I'll show you guys another time how to do it or how I do it, or how you should do it, honestly. Um, well, okay, anyways. Um, so now I'm just taking it out. The hair's still wet, but I'm just taking it out to see what it looks like. Good. I'm so happy you're doing good. Um, so I'm just winging it. There's no planned anything. So yeah, it's just whatever I do. This is just a chill live. Come in and out as you please. No problem. I don't know how long I'm gonna be on live. I'm just kind of going with the flow. I feel like doing some hair, so. And I'm off today from work, so I'm like, let me go on live. How can I donate to you? Oh, I thank you so much, but I don't have any like Cash App or anything like that. How you can donate is subscribing to my channel. I'll appreciate that. Just subscribe to my channel. Oh, that's right. I forgot to put my Instagram. When I end the live, I'll put my Instagram and my Instagram and my oh my god. My Instagram and my threads. You can go follow me over there as well if you would like. But for right now, you can just subscribe to my YouTube. Also, too, you can go check out my website. It's for free. I blog. So I write different articles about God, food and fitness, and hair, of course. Hello, Frankie. Or France K. Christ, I think. And who I'm listening to in the background as I just chill and do hair is Judge Judy. I love her. When I'm all done taking everything out, I'll show you guys what the hair looks like. I hope everybody's day is going good. I can kind of show you guys what a bricklayer perm rod set is. So you have one perm rod going right here, and then you'll have two going on each side right here, and then you'll have a solid, and then you'll have two, and you just keep doing that throughout the hair. And what that does, it just helps to take away like, or helps to not be so noticeable with the different lines and stuff. When you do a single perm. And as I'm taking it out, yes, I don't see as many lines, which is pretty cool. I actually want to do I want to take a picture of, I want to take a picture of single perms and this bricklayer. And the reason why I use the different color perms is because each of these perms is different sizes. So this one will produce a medium sized curl. The orange will produce a big curl. And then the gray ones, like this, will produce a smaller curl. And this is more, that's more for like smaller sections. And for people that have like smaller strands of hair, so like short hair. Oh my God. Almost threw away my freaking perm rod. And when taking these out, you want to be gentle because you don't want to pull on the hair. Thank you guys so much for the likes and the support, the comments, the subscribes, everything. I appreciate it. She reaching with that one. She refused water. Come on now, girl. You know you reaching with that one. Did she just call her a witch? You don't talk to Judge Judy like that. She's about to add on more money. Oh, I thought Judge Judy was going to be like, just for that. Oh my God. Wait a minute. Wait. Oh my God. I gotta pause this. Wait a minute. Stop. OMG. Y'all caught it right here on live with me. Y'all probably didn't hear that, but oh my freaking gosh. Y'all, I came home, right? I freaking came home and I was just like, I came home from school and I was just chilling, eating my nachos. And I just had this urge to watch Judge Judy. I'm like, I don't know why I want to watch Judge Judy right now. But I felt in my spirit, I'm going to watch something regarding like cosmetology, like somebody suing about cosmetology. Y'all, this next case is a cosmetologist suing somebody. God has, oh my gosh. This is probably not even about like whatever, but oh my goodness. This is interesting. Oh, y'all probably didn't even hear it. Hold on. Okay, I can't put it all the way back. But it's the homegirl's a cosmetologist, and I guess she's suing her dad. I don't know. Mm-mm.
How many people did you move into the house, sir? Actually, I didn't move in with one. Two other people came in afterwards. My girlfriend came in afterwards. Few other people came into the house. Right.
And you think it's by her? It's obviously by you.
Double vote for me to have people over? I'm making myself clear to this man. Obviously not good.
Mm.
Closed captioning, sponsored in part by Discover the right
But it was a
restaurant wine
cosmetologist that
experience
was
at
that's
Worcester
suing her
Super
dad.
Byline Wine and Liquors.
Ugh.
One-stop
Y'all
shopping
probably
for
did
all
hear
your
it,
wine
but
needs in Burlington and Camden counties. Discover a new favorite
that's
bottle with the
crazy.
help of our experts. We make wine less confusing and more fun. Our special events bring Morristown to life with exclusive tastings and experts. Join our free Red Club and enjoy unbelievable discounts and exclusive offers. All at Morristown Super Byline Wine and Liquors. Visit us in-store, online, or download our free app.
Welcome to Amy's, the perfect spot for breakfast, brunch, or lunch. Craving something scrumptious? Our morning menu has you covered, and every bite is a delight. For lunch, dive into our mouth-watering options that are sure to satisfy. And don't forget our specialty drinks, pure bliss in every sip. Check out our website for fantastic discounts. And join Amy's now up for even more perks. We're open daily from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Amy's, your neighborhood favorite.
Jackson's made our house feel like a home.
They let us go to their full happy, but it doesn't have to be biological blood. Your blood could be yours. I'm definitely in a better spot than I was when I was in foster care. Their house is cool.
I'm proud of our family. I'm proud to feel a part of something in a bigger way than I ever felt before. In Pennsylvania, thousands of children are waiting for a family. And maybe that family is yours.
Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars. For unbeatable quality and service, shop Peter Lumber.
Everybody here is a pro. They answer all of my questions and they offer top quality products.
Live craft-made cabinetry. Imagine the possibilities of craft-made
Okay.
in your kitchen, bathroom, and the rest of your home.
There's showroom and in-house design services.
So this is what the hair is looking like.
Plus, shop here and save
And this is what
50%
the
on
see, and you
insurance
don't see a lot of the
and extra
lines
inside
like
big
when I
shop
would take
what
them out.
contractors do.
Like, and when I mean by like
PeterLumber
open
does it,
spaces, I mean
and
like this.
PeterLumber.com.
And this is what the bricklayer would do. It would make it more closed in, so you don't see a lot of the gaps like this.
We were
Um,
without insurance, so when he had his asthma attack, I didn't know what to do.
So the hair is
I
obviously
found
still
some
wet.
Dixie Family
So what
Dogs.
I'm gonna
They
do
were able to
is
help us to obtain medical
I'm going to just
conditions,
scrunch it
and through their help,
and just,
my
I mean,
son
some of
healed.
it's dry, but I'm just
And
gonna
you,
scrunch
thank
it
you
like
for
this
being here. Thank you for everything
and
that
just
you've
embrace the
done.
curls and just get
Get
it
this kept going. He's here.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
a little bit more curlier.
Yolanda Victoria is suing her father, Kenneth Victoria, for rent,
Oh, I'm gonna
bills,
leave it.
and wrecking her credit. Kenneth says he's done everything for his daughter.
Come here. When I originally moved in the apartment, it was just supposed to be me and him. And I did ask him to to make them leave. And he said, okay, fine. And I came home that day from work and they were still there. And I said, why are they still here? He said, well, they need time to move. And I said, it didn't take that long for them to move in.
I know that's right.
First day of school here. So what'd you do?
So the hair is
I
scrunchy.
told him to get him out. And he was like, well, they can
And
stay
it's
here.
dry right here, so that's
And I
why
said,
it's
well,
not looking
I'm
as
moving out. I
scrunchy.
said, because I'm not staying
But
here with all these people because that wasn't their agreement. And I was going to move out. And he's like, no, I ain't going to have nowhere to, I'm not going to have anywhere to stay. Let me stay here and I will take over the rent. I will pay the rent, the lights, and the phone. I said, well, I'm taking the phone and the light bill out of my name. He's like, no, don't do that. Just say, let me keep all this. And I was like, okay, well, you my daddy, I'll help you out since you don't have anywhere to go. He's like, I promise I'll pay you.
That ain't it.
No.
And you got stuck with all the bills. Rent
Right.
and all the utilities.
Right.
And what was the total of your bills?
The
Open your folder. Open your total of your bills.
$1,311 for all they fees and whatever else happened to it. And the
so I'm
phone
just gonna
bill
comb
was
this out.
$539. Yes. He had his niece was having her boyfriend or whoever called collect all the time. He told me this.
In other invade her house with all these people? In all good way. No, what kind of right do you have? I was paying half the bill, wasn't it? No, listen to me. Let us assume you will pay half the bills. Well, your arrangement with her is the two of you are going to live there together.
Wow, her hair is really soft.
All the cops the army to live in your house. And say, well, I'm paying half the bill, so on my half, I'm going to have 5 people living there. On my half, she's 1. Well, it wasn't 5. 3. Well, it wasn't 3.
Okay. So her hair's still wet. I'm gonna blow dry her.
So, let us assume that you went into this agreement with her, sir. You didn't say it's for me and my girlfriend and my niece. You said, it's for me. I have no place to stay. So, A, you're wrong. Let's go to B, you're wrong. You're the father. You're supposed to pay the bills. Your daughter's not supposed to support you. Why didn't you pay the rent? Well, that was wrong for me to have people over. I'm not making myself clear to this man.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
If you're looking for a little different vibe, off the beaten path, make your way to the original Piccadilly Inn. For almost 100 years, the same Pick family is carrying on the legacy of good food and great cheer. Ice cold craft beers, award-winning wings you've gotta try, and homestyle comfort the whole family will love. Whether it's date night, watching the game, or a special occasion, we can't wait to serve you. Fun, authentic.
Okay, real quick, I'm just going to
To the Pick.
The way that I coach work
close to blow dry her hair real quick. So one thing I hate about
connected devices. Connectivity is a big part of our boys' lives. It brings people together in meaningful ways.
Get real savings and real quality from the company that keeps it real, like nobody's business. But hurry, this is a limited time offer.
Want justice? Call 1-888-800-JUDY. On the internet, judgejudy.com.
You entered into
I'm gonna cuddle this. Is that a freaking Barbie doll? It is. It's my mannequin head. Mannequin. Who is white girl chair? Do my hair next. I'll definitely do your hair, James. Who taught you how to do white people hair? Nobody taught me how to do white people hair. It's just I just do hair. I don't look at like black people, white people, or whatever. I look at the texture of the hair.
Becky Roberts is suing Susanna and Charles Hopkins for not paying for their daughter's wedding party.
Now I just saw this. I just saw this one.
Quiet in the courtroom, please. All rise. Yeah, this case number 360 on calendar, the matter of Roberts versus Hopkins. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. May be seated and have a seat, please.
Miss Roberts, you are the owner of a sort of bed and breakfast kind of place.
They literally just showed this. Hold on.
Functions, weddings, and parties. The defendants, according to your complaint, hired you and used your facility for a wedding for your daughter or her daughter. And wedding was over, and you didn't pay.
But we offered to pay when we were kicked out before it was over.
Yes, she ruined our daughter's wedding. She had problems. She approved of the band. I don't know if she had problems that the band was in Spanish. And she kept complaining throughout the whole thing. It's a very hostile environment.
Y'all see how smooth her hair is? Like, OMG. Oh, Kelly's hair is like so freaking smooth. Hold on. Hopefully y'all, am I zoomed in?
How many times were you arrested for domestic violence?
3 times. His ex-girlfriend says his mother is suing her because she brought his household abuse charges.
They got in a fight, and my son ended up in jail. He's not going to do anything here. I know, and we will see that you're escorted from the courthouse. Thank you.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. The people are real. The cases are real. The rulings are final. This is her courtroom. This is Judge Judith. Monica Ramos versus Price.
Oh no.
42-year-old Blanca Ramos wants her son's ex-girlfriend, 36-year-old Carolyn Price, to repay her credit card bills. Order, all rise.
Okay. My phone's at 89%. So I'll just...
397 on calendar, the matter of Ramos versus Price. Part of the sworn judge.
Hi, Paul. Let me know if you guys can still hear me.
Sir.
But I had to switch over to my paddle brush because this brush was not... This brush that I always use, it's just not doing it.
Claim that she owes you money for things that she charged on a credit card. Yes.
And it's just running through,
And
like...
your son's name. Yes, ma'am. Miss Price says that
I'm gonna have to bring this to school with me.
and she's going to be able to prove that to me, that the only reason you filed this claim is because she refused to drop charges that she filed against your son for assault.
That's not true. I never asked her that.
Okay. Is that your son?
Yes.
I'll get to you in a minute.
Okay.
Tell me about these credit card purchases.
Okay, I went to Circuit City in 1995.
Circuit City.
Yes, November 1995 with my son, and she went with us. My son asked me to get a credit card for him, so I applied for it, and he get it right away. Okay, by that time,
Just a minute. So he asked you to get him a card,
yes,
but your name was on it.
yes, yes.
Because he wasn't working at the time?
No, he wasn't working at the time, and I was kind of stuff, so I got a credit card for him.
That was your first mistake.
Right.
How old was he at the time?
He was 21.
And now what?
He was working at that time.
You just told me he wasn't working.
No, he was working at that time. He was working as a gardener. He got a part-time job like as a gardener.
Maybe. So you got a credit card for him, you gave it to him, and then she asked if she could put some stuff on the credit card.
Yes. By that time they were living together. They went to Circuit City and got a washer and dryer washer and dryer for $1,054.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm getting ready to flat iron her
she
hair.
decided to return
Let me just,
the
I just
washer
want
and dryer
y'all to see
So they
how,
filed a check to her house with my son and my son's name for $1,054.
Okay.
This lady cashed this check, opened the envelope and cashed this check and paid her own bills with these things.
We'll get to you in a minute.
Another thing is, okay, after that,
and I do have another texture hair. But let me show you how I could take her hair from straight to like almost afro like. Hold on, let me show you guys. I probably won't even flat iron her hair, to be honest. I probably would just curl it.
yes, they were living together.
Well, then they purchased these things together.
I probably won't even flat iron it.
She agreed to make the payments for this things they got in City City.
Who did she say she would pay for those things?
Well, the thing is that I find out, I didn't even know about these things.
I'm like,
She got
hold on.
these things Because
I'm like, do I
You
want
keep
to?
saying she. Are you telling me that you believe that she went alone?
no, she went with my son.
She went with him.
Yes,
And they were living together.
yes,
So they purchased these things together for the house that they were living in together,
Ooh.
Mrs. Ramos.
yes.
So you don't know what kind of an arrangement they made between the two of them about how these things were going to be paid for.
But the thing is, when I applied for a credit card, because I wanted to pay my card off, they denied my application, and I didn't know why, because I had a very good credit. So I asked the TRW to send me a copy of my records. And this shows in here that Circle City was the only one that was delinquent for 60 and 90 days.
So, Ms. Ramos, at that point, did you say to your son, why did you ruin my credit?
Yes, I did. I asked him
Just a
twice.
minute. And let's come up here, sir, now. What's your name?
My name's Victor.
Victor. Why did you ruin your mother's credit?
Okay, well, what I want to say is I've been living with her, and she told me that let's go get some stuff for the house, you know, and she promised me that we want to pay this together, you know. She tried to tell you people that I've been living together, but she always threw me out of her house.
Just a second, Victor. You got a big screen television, right?
Yeah.
Something very important. No house should be without a big screen television. Did you watch it?
But that's,
Did you watch it?
yeah, I watch it.
And what else did she buy on the credit card other than the big screen TV?
She buy a PlayStation,
What's a PlayStation?
a video game.
Video game that you didn't play with.
No,
You never touched the video game.
no, the TV, yeah.
Let me tell you something. Women
I
don't
think I'm
play
gonna go
those
ahead
video
and
games.
curl her
Men
hair.
get into those things, shooting and, killing a lot of people on the screen, right? They sort of get into that. All right, what else did she buy? A PlayStation, what else?
Washer and dryer.
Oh, just a minute. Did you have clothes?
Yeah.
And did you get a washboard and wash the clothes? Or did you use the washer and dryer?
Still washer and dryer.
Oh, okay. And then you say she put you out. Now, how many times were you arrested for domestic violence?
3 times.
And was it after each of those 3 times that she put you out?
Yeah.
So she threw you out, as well she should have, probably after the first time you assaulted her. Not waiting until the 3rd time, that was very stupid.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
How big was the TV, Victor?
Like this table size.
You must be very successful at your part-time gardening.
And later today,
My stepmother, almost beat the crap out of me, basically.
She slapped her one time. She never slapped her on the face at all.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
She slapped her one time, but she didn't slap her on the face. So where'd she slap her at?
For credit card bills. Carolyn says Blanca's son Victor assaulted her.
You say that she signed a piece of paper indicating that she would pay a certain amount of money. Let me see, please.
She signed this letter to me, not to me, to my son. I sent her like 5 letters and she signed all them together.
Just a second.
Okay, so never mind. I'm not gonna flat iron her hair. I'm about to curl it.
Current balance was $2,711.
With my 1-inch wand curler.
Right?
Yes.
I think that's 1 inch. I don't know.
$2,700.
A ledger
Yes.
of all the purchases that were made, the payments I made, and the agreement between Blanca and I that I was to pay $1,000.
Let me see it, please.
And I
Because this
did.
$2,700 doesn't tell me how much were her purchases, and his purchases, and your purchases.
I never made an agreement with her to pay $1,000.
Yes, you did.
I just felt
Just a second. Now, how much in total were your purchases?
Total was $1,172.60, and then you add that refund check there.
So it's 22.
$2,200. And I made all these payments, as you can see, down to $788.60. And with all this stuff happened between him and I, he promised that he would pay some money on this account, and he never did. Then, you know, the abuse started, and I kicked him out. And then she came to me, actually she called me, and her daughter calculated the amount that we both agreed on. It was like $900 some odd dollars. And I said, well, let's make it even 1,000, and we're even, done. You know, she goes, okay. Then she comes over begging me to, not press charges against him, and I wouldn't do it. And then I said, we're stand out of certain cities, $1,000. I pay it when I get my settlement.
She has $2,200 for pager, PlayStation, cell phone, TV, and the refund check, which was $22. She also has made numerous payments on this. Where did you get money from him? He didn't pay for it diddly. They incurred this debt because they were living together. Don't you understand that?
yes, ma'am.
Why don't you go to him and say, Victor, give me some money. You used the TV, you used the cell phone, you used the washer dryer, you got kicked out because you can't keep your hands in your pockets. And I don't want you to destroy my credit. It's not her fault.
Yes, ma'am. I know that.
Good, but
The thing is that when I called her and asked her the questions for these things.
Why aren't you asking your son? Why is he putting his hands on women? Why are you suing the woman that got beat by your son? That's crazy.
He's supposed to ask you. You didn't give her a credit card. Gave it to him. He went out and spent a lot of money. How big was the TV, Victor?
I don't know, that's like this type of size.
You must be very successful at your part-time gardening. Miss Ramos, I'm satisfied that she's paid more than her portion of the debt that she owes you. If you're owed any more money,
Get it from your son.
that's all. Case is dismissed.
Water Joyce, you may step out. I'll be back with you right.
And now the next case.
Party's on Jasso versus Widener. Step forward, please.
18-year-old receptionist Christina Jasso wants her father, 46-year-old budget analyst David Wagner, to return $700 she claims he stole.
Miss Jasso, this is your father.
Yes,
How old are you?
18.
According to the papers that I've read, you were, for most of your
Oh my
life,
God.
living with your mom.
Mm-hmm.
First, how many years?
13.
And then you decided to go live with your father. Why?
My grandfather had died, and my mother and I had gotten a run-in because, basically, of depression. I blamed it on her.
You blamed your grandfather's death on your mother.
My mother, because of depression. I thought she could have done something.
Was he sort of like your father while you were growing up?
He was, basically my father figure.
And you lived with your dad for how long?
Almost 3 full years.
But you started to skip school.
Lord
Is that
Kelvin,
right? Hang out with some people that
can you
probably
please
were
not call me Black Mama? Thank you so much.
Yes.
But how are you doing today,
Your father.
Kelvin? How
This lawsuit is
how are you
about
doing?
two things. You said
How's your
dad
day going?
took $700 out of a bank account that was yours,
I have proof of that, yes.
and lady still has your property and your clothes, personal effects.
Birthday gifts and Christmas gifts, everything.
Well, let's start with this bank account. When was the bank account opened?
I don't have the exact date, but it wasn't very long after I moved up there.
So you were 13, 14.
Yes.
Who put money into the account?
Most of the money came from babysitting that I had done, from confirmation money that I had gotten, and paychecks he had put in $5 every paycheck he got.
Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And how often do you get paid?
Every 2 weeks.
So every 2 weeks you put in $5.
Yes, ma'am.
So $10 a month.
Yes, ma'am.
For how many years?
There were 58 deposits made.
290?
Yes, ma'am.
$290 put in. Now there came a time when your daughter left your house. You want to tell me why, sir?
She eloped 8 times from the period of March 11th until May 2nd from our house. And the time she left our house on May 2nd of '96, her mother arranged for a bus ticket for her to leave the state of Wisconsin at 12:30 midnight, travel through the state of Chicago on a bus by herself back to Ohio. I didn't know this until afterwards.
Oh
And
my
I
God.
had a fear, Your Honor.
Why?
Because my stepmother almost beat the crap out of me, basically. I had a split lip because of it, and I had several bruises on my body.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Not my grandchild. She didn't tell me until today. This is the first time she's told me she was pregnant on Mary.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Christina Jasso says her father, David Widener, took money and kept thousands of dollars worth of clothes. He says she can have the clothes back, but the money was his in the first place.
Can we move on with this, please?
Her stepmother slapped her one time. She never slapped her on the face at all. And the split lip came from an auto accident that she's very lucky young lady to even be alive.
When was the auto accident?
March 15th.
March 15th of '96.
In any event, you left and went back to your mother. And at that point, you closed out this account, sir?
No, ma'am. I closed the account on February the 22nd. I did that to protect the funds. I felt if this young lady was skipping school, and she was, that eventually she would realize that she had money at her disposal. The reason I opened the account was to help her.
Was $700 given out to the account?
$761 I transferred from her account to my account to safeguard it.
Even without any interest, $471 of that money is really hers.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we have no dispute about that. Now let's talk about your clothes and your personal property. I know you left a lot of stuff with your dad. Mr. Widener, I gather from your answer that you are not only frustrated by it, but a little bit angry with your daughter, or you were.
Yes, ma'am.
That happens, unfortunately. Being a parent requires those 2 words, unconditional love.
Yes, ma'am.
And according to your answer, you boxed up the property that is your daughter's when you're just waiting for her to send you $95 for the shipping costs.
Yes, ma'am.
I was never informed of that.
I'm helping you, Christina.
Thank you.
You have to send other things. I mean, even if it doesn't involve running away and moving from one parent to another, that's what happens with teenagers, you know. They love their mother until they're, I don't know, like 12, 13 years old. Then something happens when you reach puberty. Right?
Yes.
I'm glad we understand each other. You're getting a little older, so you understand.
Yes. I'm pregnant myself, and so I'm learning to understand.
That's not such a smart thing, but we're not going to get into that.
I'm married.
Oh, you are?
Yes, I am.
Fine. Does he work?
Yes, he does.
Ah! Married, working, and pregnant. I can live with those 3 things. That's all right. Almost
He
4.
works 2 jobs, and I work myself, so.
All right. So you're going to be a grandfather.
for the fourth time.
Not this one.
No, ma'am.
So, are you almost gonna make up with your dad?
I would like to, but I've called him in the past, and the reaction that he has given me is that the problems were all entirely mine.
You gotta put a period. You gotta put a period.
Girl, you blamed your mom for your depression with your grandpa passing away, and then you got beef with your dad. Girl, the problem is you.
For being a brat, she took her back.
I was.
And your daughter was a brat when she lived with you, and she probably made your life miserable towards the tail end. Threw the house upside down.
Wasn't too bad.
So now she seems to be working, married, is he a nice guy?
Oh, yeah.
Have you met him?
No, ma'am.
Well, I think you should. She's gonna have a baby. Probably gonna look just like you.
A little darker.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Call 1-888-800-JUDY.
I'm going to give you a judgment for $471. You could probably use it to buy a crib. That would be a nice thing. And Mr. Widener, I'm going to direct you, sir, to take the boxes that you have for your daughter and send it back to her without fee. And you travel here separately, I assume, to court today from 2 different states. Is that right? Correct. So why don't you do me a favor and go out and have a cup of coffee together, the 3 of you? Think you can do that?
We can try.
Think you can do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Good.
Excuse me, step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I hated having to do this to my father because he is my father, but I'm pleased that at least maybe we might be able to communicate now.
I only wanted her to be the best that she could be. I don't think that she gave herself as much credit as she should have. She's a very, she has a lot of potential.
He needs to put what's in the past behind us.
Dang, this streaming service Pluto be buffering a lot.
Hank Aaron was missing also.
They said, I sold your cards. And he flipped out.
A big mistake. She sold her husband's boyhood baseball card collection.
What? I can't believe it. I know that I was wrong. I apologize to him. I've been living this story for the last 2 months.
Mr. Costa, you're not a child, sir.
But first today,
The reason I broke the engagement is because I was getting pushed into a corner.
Mama said no.
Could you please ask her not to get my mother into this?
No, we
I
won't
don't
get your mother
appreciate
involved.
this kind of talk.
Too bad.
I don't appreciate this kind of talk. Too bad.
the cases are real. The rulings are honest. This is her court. This is Judge Judy.
See,
John Robles versus Lacey. Step forward, please.
40-year-old casino
hi, cute butter.
44-year-old chef David Lacey broke their engagement, but she wants her wedding expenses paid.
Order, all rise.
Guys, case number 107 on the calendar, the matter of Roblek versus Lacey. Advisor this morning, Judge, you may be seated.
According to these papers, Ms. Robles, you met the defendant through a dating service within a relatively short period of time. You were living together and planning a wedding. That's correct. You say that he broke the engagement, you were left with some wedding bills, and wanted to be compensated. That's correct.
You say that the defendant forged some checks of yours.
Yes, Your Honor. I have copies here if you need to see them.
I will. Time? You don't understand what you're suing for.
Well, I can understand she wants to be compensated, but at the same time, I never agreed to a big expensive wedding. I wanted to keep things down, low cost. We live in Las Vegas, so obviously you can do things a little bit affordable there as far as getting married.
Did you discuss that with each other?
Off and on. I work on board a ship. I'm gone 2 weeks out of the month. And so a lot of times there wasn't a lot of discussion. Things were just done while I was gone.
Well, let me hear what kind of plans that you made and what you spent.
Your Honor, I had put deposit down on a dress that was $117. I never got the dress, that was just the deposit. I had gotten a dress for my daughter, deposit.
How much?
$85 there. Invitations were $163.91.
More money that you paid.
Correct.
Okay. Go ahead.
I also contributed $1,600 towards my wedding ring. He contributed $1,000.
Okay, where's the wedding ring?
Right here.
So you have it.
I have it. I would never have spent the money.
She
had he
paid
not
a little
asked
bit
me
for
to
her
marry him.
engagement
That is
ring.
my point, is I never would have spent this kind of money if he hadn't intended to marry me. And I have these wonderful, beautiful letters that say,
Ms. Rubler, you may not have intended to buy yourself a wedding ring, but you have it.
yes,
He paid $1,000 towards it. He says that his answer. He's not seeking it back. Because I have to account to plan, correct, sir?
That's correct.
So you have the ring, which has been appraised, according to him, for substantially more than the $1,600 that you paid for it. So sell it. Then you're not out any money. You can at least sell it and get your $1,600 back because it costs $2,600 and you put in $1,000. So what other expenses are you at, Ms. Roma?
during the time he was living with me, I had this $700 phone bill because apparently David was very lonely and was calling everybody he knew in the world. So that was $700 that I was left to pay that he proceeded to write checks to me for and stop paying on.
Okay. Did you look at the phone bill, sir?
I did not look at the phone bill, but I did not disagree with it. I agreed to pay that money.
Fine, $700.
$750 is what I wrote checks for.
$750. Now, you
He
can't
didn't write checks for phone bills.
Just a second.
That's not what he paid.
No, you said that he wrote checks and then he stopped paying them.
Correct.
Why did you stop paying the phones?
Your Honor, September 16th of '97, I reported back to the Gulf of Mexico on the ship that I work on. During that time, I found out that checks number 1223 and 1221 had been written and cashed while I was on board the ship. There was no way of me writing for the close. During that time also, there's $750 worth of checks that state phone bill out of this checkbook. I had these checks stopped because they were made out by Ms. Rolek, and she also endorsed them on the back. If you
Can I
want
see
care to
those?
look at those, that'd be
I
fine.
absolutely would.
And you can look at my handwriting from the checks.
Ms. Rowland, before I look at these and compare signatures, etc., do you acknowledge that you wrote checks out of his checkbook?
Absolutely not.
You did not.
I did not. I didn't have, his stuff was stored in the garage. He said he was coming back to pick up his things in August after he disappeared one day. He got drunk and disappeared on me.
Where are the canceled checks, sir, for $750?
Well, it's check number 1186, 1192,
Just
1193,
1192.
and 1193. They were all made out to her.
Right, and those are the stop payment checks that I have the
Can
original.
I see them, please?
Mr. Lacy is left-handed. He could have very well written those checks to make me look like some kind of fool.
You say that she forged your name on a $750 check.
She wrote those two checks out to herself and signed my name to them.
Assuming she did that, means you still owe her the $750.
I paid $250 of it, as you'll note. The first check did go through.
So according to you, sir, you still owe her $500.
Yes. I never disputed, I never said I would not do that.
It's like and the letters that I got, he agreed to putting things on hold, cost money, he'll pay for it. That was everything with the wedding too.
You didn't have that major expense for the wedding, huh?
But the $1,600 that I put out for this ring, I never would have put out had he not asked me to marry him.
You're not going to get that back, Mrs. Rowland. It's not as if you're out any money. You can sell the ring and certainly get as much for
But why
it.
should I? He's the one that broke the engagement. He should give me the money for the ring.
Your Honor, the reason I broke the engagement is because I was getting pushed into a corner. I've been through
No, your
bankruptcy.
mother told you that you
Hey,
shouldn't get married.
please don't talk to each other.
Could you
Let
please
me- Mama
ask,
said no.
could you please ask her not to get my mother into this?
No, we
Because I
will
don't
get your mother
appreciate
involved.
this kind of talk.
Too bad. This is my shop. Don't talk to him. You want to tell me, sir, because you want to get it off your chest. Why did you break this engagement according to you?
Just because of the fact that I was getting pushed into the corner. I've stated already, I did not want to get into a large, expensive wedding.
So did you tell her that, sir?
Yes, time and time
And
again.
what was her response?
Her response was, if we aren't going through this wedding in October, forget it. At that time, I said, I think it's a good idea. We take a couple steps backwards, and I go back to my condominium, which I forgot to add in July of '97. I don't have the receipt, so it's just my word that she went and picked up the rent, which was $600, and I never got that back either.
So you were renting your condo?
Rented it out while I was living with her.
His statement to me was he wanted to go back to his condo so he could lay out by the pool.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
He left on the 30th of July and drunk and never came back.
Your Honor, can I ask Ms. Roblek to please watch her statements so that I don't have to come back at her like I feel like doing?
And later today,
Oh,
The minute I walked in the door when I got home, my husband.
he said,
called
sis,
and
you don't
said,
want to go there.
"Park."
If he said, girl, if you want to take it there, we could take it there.
He didn't even want to know how much I sold them for.
He said, sis, I'm trying to be. He said, I'm trying to play cute, but you over here about to make me get gangster.
I have up my dish game. I just scrape, load, and I'm done.
in that dishwasher.
In that dishwasher.
Only Platinum Plus is packed with more Dawn to remove up to 100% of grease and food residue, breaking down food to help it flow cleanly through the filter. Get the highest standard of clean, even in your machine.
Clean enough for you?
My girls are coming out great because I don't have to be rushing.
Dare to dish differently.
Breeze, do you love your plugins but wish you had more control of the scent? Introducing the new Febreze Plug Scent Booster. Enjoy the same 50 days of continuous scent as Febreze Plug with added features for more control, including a cord for flexible placement options, 3 intensity settings with the ability to turn it off, and a boost button for extra scent whenever you want. For long-lasting scent you can control. New Febreze Plug Scent Booster.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Casino pit boss, Beth Ann Roblek, wants her wedding expenses paid after restaurant chef David Lacey broke their engagement.
Mr. Lacey, you clearly acknowledge that you owe her $500.
Yes, I do.
And as far as her dress is concerned and her daughter's dress, I am discounting that. But she did spend, and I assume you have a receipt to show me, $163 for invitations that was non-refundable. Let me see it, please. When was the engagement broken?
Approximately
July,
July.
He left on the 30th of July and drunk and never came back.
Your Honor, can I ask Ms. Roblek to please watch her statements so that I don't have to come back at her like I feel like doing?
Yeah. Ms. Roblek, you may be angry.
It cost me a lot of money here.
It did cost you a lot of money, ma'am. And really, not out of pocket a lot of money at all. At most, you're out of pocket a couple $100 because the ring that you're sporting on your finger you can sell, so you're not out $1,600. What you're angry at is you're angry at the fact that this wedding didn't come to fruition. That's what you're angry at.
Right.
All right? But if an engagement is broken, it's usually for a very good reason. And it's usually a very good reason, especially because you have 2 children. So if you're not getting along before
They never
the
even
wedding,
said goodbye to when he left.
oh, Ms. Rowan, a very angry lady. Judgment in this case is for the plaintiff in the amount of $586.50. $500 for your phone bill, sir, and half of the invitations. Period. That's all.
Period.
She may step out.
I hope no one else ever bothers to get involved with David because they're gonna be in a lot of trouble if they do. Mama won't like it.
Well, number one, I guess.
So the back is done.
And as far as the rest of it goes, I think everything worked out just fine.
And now the next case.
Bodies on Costa versus Memory Lane Sports Memorabilia. Step forward, please.
44-year-old engineer Joe Costa wants Memory Lane Sports memorabilia owner Larry Levine to return his 35-year-old baseball baseball card collection.
Are you Mrs. Costa?
Yes.
Would you step up, please?
Okay.
You, sir, have been collecting baseball cards and football cards since you were a child.
Yes.
And you took his baseball cards and sold them to the defendant, who has a store. Correct. You want the cards back.
Yes.
So you're an important part of this case, Mrs. Costa. Now, I assume from my reading of these papers that you and your husband had discussed selling the baseball cards. Is that right?
We had discussed going somewhere and finding out their value. The garage is flooded, and I was thinking, well, if they're just gonna get molded or ruined in the garage, maybe we should see if they're worth anything.
So you had a discussion with your husband.
Yes, we brought them into the house.
And tell me about the discussion that you had with your husband.
We tell us about the extent of it, and I went to the shopping center that we frequent all the time. I've been in the defendant's store a couple of times. I told him I got for why. I bought a Nebraska football, a couple baseball hats. Just felt familiar with it. Asked him if he would look at the cards. He agreed.
And you had discussed with your husband the fact that you were going to take them in to have him look at the cards.
I mentioned it.
And what did your husband say to you?
I don't remember anything in particular that he said to me. He didn't say don't sell them or anything.
It would seem to me that if two people were having a discussion about baseball cards, so extensive collection of baseball cards, that you, sir, would have had some indication of their value. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
And it would also seem to me, logically, that you would have shared that with your wife.
Yes, Your Honor.
So what did you tell her that you thought the cards were worth?
We didn't discuss the value of the cards. The cards had never been appraised.
And when your wife told you that she was going to take them in, are you trying to tell me, sir, that you didn't tell your wife, I think that this is what the cards are worth?
No, she didn't want to show them. And I knew they were
There
valuable.
was a misunderstanding, and I didn't have intention to sell them when I went in that day. I wanted to see what they were worth. By the time I left his store, I went in, he thumbed through them real quick, showed me all of the little deformities, the corners bent, et cetera, said there's not really anything of a lot of value here. There's some bulk value. I'll give you a couple hundred. I paused and how about 300. I tried to call my husband from the store, and I got his voicemail at work. I had a conversation with his wife. His wife was there while this was happening. And I said, well, we've been in your store before. I said, is this about the same that somebody's going to give me down the street? Because I thought if they're worth a lot, like 1,000, 1,500, I would take them some, a couple places. The minute I walked in the door when I got home, my husband called. I said, I sold your cards. And he flipped out. He said, what? I can't believe it. He didn't even want to know how much I sold them for. And he went over there within the hour and...
within the hour of you selling your cards?
Yes, they still had them out on the counter when my husband went back into the store.
Mr. Levine, and up until this point, nobody is faulting you. And I wouldn't even fault you subsequently, because you had somebody who came in who had what we call in the legal business apparent authority to sell those cards. Right? You had the cards, you were going in a couple of days before, you were the one who said, I want to bring some cards in for you to see. You didn't say that these are my husband's cards, I don't have
No,
any
I
right.
told them that they were my husband's cards.
Did she tell you they were her
I believe she did tell me.
Well, did you? Oh, she did. That's an important piece. So, Mr. Levine, at that point, sir, that puts you on notice. And it puts you on notice that she may not have the authority to sell those cards.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
Mr. Costa, I find that hard to believe. And Mr. Levine, you did the wrong thing, sir.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Joe Costa is suing for the return of his childhood baseball card collection. Card shop owner Larry Levine says the cards have already been sold.
Why are you suing the guy? You should be suing your freaking wife for selling them.
Then these people, right off the bat, would be out of luck. But in this case, Mr. Levine, you were on notice that despite the fact that she had the apparent authority to sell the cards because they were in her possession, they actually belonged to her husband. So let's get on to within the hour, Mr. Costa shows up at your store and says to you, those are my cards. My wife had no authority to sell them. At that point, you have the responsibility, sir, of returning the cards to him. And please, Mr. Levine, don't try to tell me that within the hour you went out and sold the cards or any of them, because I won't believe you. Do you understand? And if you do tell me that, you're not going to like my response. So go ahead. Did you sell any of the cards within the hour?
I had an offer to have those cards sold within the hour, yes. Within 5 minutes, actually.
Now, you did not, in fact, sell them within that 5-minute period or the hour period. You may have gotten an offer, but they were still in your possession. So at that point, you have the obligation, I'm making this determination now, to return the cards to the rightful owner and say this is an unfortunate mistake, that's it. So where are the cards now?
I sold the cards.
How much did you sell his cards for?
$600.
How many did you sell for $600?
I sold all of them.
You sold the entire collection for $600?
Yes.
To whom?
To another car dealer.
Now, Mr. Costa, how did you know the value of these cards?
In 1992, my cousin gave me Beckett's magazine, and Beckett's is a pretty accurate magazine for the value, in terms of the value of cards.
And give me some idea, to the best of your recollection, sir, what the value of the cards were.
Some of the better cards,
Altogether.
total worth was about 57, the way I calculated all the cards.
Oh. Did you sell the entire collection of cards?
I sold everything but one card.
She sounded like she was trying to get back at her husband.
From the basement.
They were in the garage.
In the garage. Right. In what?
In a box about this size.
In a cardboard box.
Why would you sell your husband's baseball cards?
You valued a collection at almost $6,000. And from 1992 to 1997, you kept this $6,000 investment in a garage, in a paper box, not a metal box, not a safe, not put them up in your bedroom, up above, your shoes. You left them in a garage.
That's correct.
No, they weren't. Mr. Costa, I find that hard to believe, because I have to come up with a monetary amount that this man has to pay because he did the wrong thing. And Mr. Levine, you did the wrong thing, sir.
Judge Judy is ready to rule.
Educator, union leader, mayor, Sean Spiller is the only candidate with a statewide track record of defending our economic interests. As governor, Sean will stand up to MAGA extremists and Donald Trump.
Enough with rich corporations getting all the benefits while the rest of us get more and more.
This is what we do in our union every single day. We protect the rights of people through collective action.
Sean Spiller will fight for all New Jerseyans. Sean Spiller for governor.
Movio Rubino service is the real deal. We're honest and friendly with real people to help you around the clock. But that's only part of our deal, because at Movio Rubino, we don't play games like inflating our prices to create a sub-help discount. Nope. We only give real deals that help you save up to $2,950 on a new HVAC system. A really good HVAC system. Contact Movio Rubino now and get real savings and real quality from the company that keeps it real, like nobody's business. But hurry, this is a limited time offer.
New Ford Vendor returns. February 14th to the 23rd. 10 days of the wildest burgers. Savor, love, repeat. Discover more at FordWV.org.
It's called the Pit. It's a classified prison. It's home to the most violent and dangerous criminals the world has ever known.
There's something new. Can you tell me why I'm actually here? It was a jailbreak. Someone wanted those killers back out in the world.
How many you have? A lot. That's why you're here. We need your help to catch them.
The hunting party. One day we may see him be gone.
Seeing clearly matters. Being seen
want justice? Call 1-888-800-JUDY.
You did the wrong thing, sir. You did the wrong thing because you acknowledged, you were on notice that the cards did not belong to this lady, that they belonged to her husband. So that does away with the theory of apparent authority to sell the cards. He came to you within the hour, so the right thing for you to do would have been to return the cards. You didn't do that. And you got to suffer. And my only problem is how to value it. And quite frankly, I don't know how to value it. I really don't know how to value it. Because I don't believe, sir, that when you have a $6,000 piece of property, you don't keep it out in the garage. You put it someplace where you keep valuables. You don't keep it out in the garage. In any event, I'm awarding you $2,500. Judgment in this case is for the plaintiff. The amount is $2,500. Mr. Levine, when you're in business, the most important thing that you have is your reputation. As far as I'm concerned, this case besmirches your reputation. That's all.
Parties are excused. They step out. Judge Judy will continue in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
You must have said, will you marry me? Does that sound familiar?
But they got unhinged after she climbed on stage at a Yummy concert.
Stop the show.
I am totally shocked.
Real people. Judge Judy.
I've made amends for 3 weeks straight, so there's nothing I can do to replace the cards. I really didn't care about the money.
To me, it was a business transaction and I went right. And,
I don't understand why you would sell your husband's
that's all I can say.
baseball cards. That's crazy.
How old is your child?
7 months.
Have you seen the baby?
Love it.
Would you like to see the baby?
Love to. A prodigal daughter and her mother reunited. And now Grandma gets to see the baby for the first time.
Mark, can I see that baby? They know what the baby looks like, right? Oh, that baby is adorable. She's cute. She's very cute.
Ow.
Are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Shineland. The people are real. The cases are real. The rulings are final. This is her courtroom. This is Judge Judy.
Parties on aisle Eastling versus the Hoyas Eastling. Step forward, please. All parties.
18-year-olds Mary Jane Eastling and Jason Heil are suing Mary's mother, Elizabeth Eastling, and her boyfriend, Basilio De Hoyos, for the return of their belongings.
Order. All rise. Quiet, please. All rise. Yes. Thank you.
Your Honor, this is case number 16 on the calendar, the matter of Heil Eastling versus the Hoyas Eastling. Pleasure this morning, Judge. You may be seated.
How old are you, Miss Eastland?
18.
This is your boyfriend. And you have a child together. How old is your child?
7 months.
This is your mom. And this is your mom's boyfriend.
Yes.
And according to the papers that I've read, this lawsuit is about some furniture and things that you left behind when you moved out of a home. Is this a mobile home?
Yes.
That belonged to your sons. How did you come to live in Mr. De Hoyos' son's home?
Well, they invited us down there. And
Down where?
down to Florida.
I had to put some ice on my wrist because I
and they
burned
told us that they
myself.
would put us in our own
I was
place.
seeing it start to
Get
get
a job, pay for it.
red.
Stay right there. And stay there.
Did you do that?
Yes, ma'am.
When did you move there?
Probably at the end of March,
What year?
97.
Where had you been living?
We were living at that time in Delaware.
With whom?
with his mom.
And why did you leave Delaware?
We just wanted to be together, you know, things wasn't going on down there. And, you know, she wanted to be closer to her family, so, you know, and, you know, she was having a baby. She thought it'd be better off there in case she needed, you know, the right for the hospitals.
The base was right like 5 minutes away, and I had my ID card, and you know it'd be easier for me to go to the hospital and get
What
checked.
base?
The Air Force base.
Who was in the Air Force?
My father is, but I still have my ID card.
So you were a dependent minor of your father, so you could use all the medical facilities there. I see. Now you were told, according to your papers, you were told to leave the mobile home. How long were you there?
About 5 or 6 months.
Who told you to leave? What did he say to you?
Well, he said, do you want to be with Jason? Because they had kicked him out. So they said, do you want to be with Jason?
When did they kick him out?
October 2nd.
Why did you kick him out, sir?
Because he didn't want to work. I mean, when we took him in, okay, it was under the consideration that he would come down and at least hold a part-time steady, you know, until they got 18 and they were able to support themselves. I tried to put them in their own place. It just didn't work, so then I had my son move them in with him. They paid half and my son paid the other half. I mean, she's always been a worker. And I did the best we could do for them. I try to help them. I try to do everything for them. But I cannot get through his head that he has to work. If he takes the responsibility of a woman, he has to work. I refuse to support another man.
So, when did you throw him out?
It was about 3 or 4 weeks after his 18th birthday, because I had sat down with him and talked to him. I told him, look, I'm willing to help you in every way I can. I'll do anything for you as long as you do right. I told him when he's 18, he must get a job, a full-time job.
Well, what was he doing before he was 18?
Just keep working 2 or 3 hours at McDonald's and stuff like that, which that ain't nothing. But,
Well, there must have come a moment, sir, when you got frustrated.
oh yeah,
And you
not
told
just
him to
one
leave.
time. Oh yeah, the day I told him to leave was, I got him a job where I worked at. And 2 days later, he called in sick. So I sent my son, which also works there, to find out what was wrong with him. My son came back and said he wasn't there, so then I went personal. And he was getting ready to go hang out, so I turned around and I told him he had to leave. And I asked her, if she wanted to stay, she don't have to worry about nothing. I even told her that I would give her $5,000 for you, him and her, just to leave. I'll take care of the baby. And she turned that down too. She said she's leaving with him. They left.
When they left, according to you, you left some things there.
What they're saying about that he was getting ready to go hang out with his friends. He wasn't, because he was getting ready to go to work. But my stepfather said that it was too late, that he was already fired.
Why didn't he go to work on time?
But I was getting sick, but, you know, she told me I was going to hear from her family, so, you know, I said,
What do you think you were feeling sick? What was wrong with you?
I was feeling ill. I was sick, man, please.
Where's... You work at this job for 2 days, and then you're feeling ill. But then you're getting ready to go to work.
No, I was sick at first. I was telling her I'm not going to go to work because I didn't feel like it. And she, you know, and then she told me I was going to hear from family. I said, all right, I was going to be 10 minutes late, man. And then by the time they came over, she said I was already fired.
Are you kidding me? I mean, what are you, ridiculous? You were going to be 10 minutes late, and he already knew about it, that you weren't going to work, and you say you were only going to be 10 minutes late? Huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, tell me about these things that you left behind.
Well, we had an entertainment center, a TV, a stereo, and now I know we got a futon, and then we had a bed and a crib and a changer.
And you left all that stuff behind?
Yes, because they only gave us like 4 hours.
Yeah, they said you can only have 6 for 12.
I give you plenty of time.
What stuff was left behind, sir?
Exactly what she said. You know,
No stereo.
no, the only thing we don't have is the stereo.
There was no stereo there.
Now, I went there the same day she left. I went to the house. Her friends were there. One of them took a cooler with all the food and some other things, which I didn't care because they weren't mine. But then, when my son decided to move back in the house, that's when her things were all put into one room, thrown in my, you know, bigger room in the trailer. And then we had to take them out because my son's moving in. We put most of the stuff in his shed. The rest of the stuff is in my shed. The stuff in my shed is in good condition because it doesn't leak.
What is in your shed?
Okay, I have all the boxes. I have the futon. I think I have the crib there also. That's about it in my
And what was in your son's shed?
boxes, the mattresses, the box spring. The stuff was made out of particle board,
No, I'm talking about the stuff. Futon, you have.
Yes.
The crib, you have.
Yes.
What else?
And clothes that we had left behind. And
Baby stuff.
yeah, and a lot of baby stuff. And which came from us anyway. That came from us anyway.
So meanwhile, you have a lot of their stuff.
Oh, yes, you can pick it up. Well, I just won't pay for it.
We had
We had moved to Ohio with Oklahoma with my sister where we're staying now. She had made a phone call to her mother asking for her stuff. My sister was gonna take us down there to get it. And she was saying either got ruined or they threw it out.
Well, it's very, very easy. You say you had it in your shed?
I have.
Stuff that wasn't ruined?
Well, if it's not ruined, it's there.
The stuff that was ruined was placed in your son's shed.
I took pictures of it, but I don't have much of the stuff that, it was all in my son's shed. But whatever's there, she can have. I have no use for it.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You expect a medal for that? Fool around, act like morons, don't use protection, get pregnant, bring a baby into the world.
Swiffer Sweeper Dry traps 2 times more dust than airport clean, even mom approves them. Swiffer Sweeper Dry traps 2 times more dust than airport clean, even mom approves them. Rooms can just push stuff around, but Swiffer grabs dirt and even traps the hair.
Impressive.
And with Swiffer Duster, you can trap and lock 4 times more dust.
So easy.
Making hard to reach. Not hard at all. Swiffer, the mother of all things.
I tell you that.
Love it for your money back.
17 years old, you expect a medal for that?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Mary Eastman and Jason Heil ran off together. Now they want Mary's mother, Elizabeth Eastman, and her boyfriend, Basilio Deloyes, to return belongings left behind.
Miss Eastland, sounds to me as if your mother, who hasn't said much, and your stepfather were trying to be very good to you at a time when you weren't being particularly responsible. Doesn't that sound right? They invited you to come down here. They were trying to be good to you. Right, yes. Why do you think they're angry with you now?
because I want to be with him.
And why don't you think they like him?
Because they don't.
Why don't you think they like him?
When he was working,
I think, the reason why I think that is like because, her mother, I respected her, I thought she was her family, but she would put me down, call me bum the way I dress, if you take anybody, if you take anybody out there who makes that baby at a young age, they can do that, they can play basketball, go to school, but I stuck with her through the whole time, through everything, even I was getting put down by the family.
It's just a second. What, you expect a medal for that?
I'm just saying.
Huh?
No,
You expect a medal for that? 2 17-year-olds, 16-year-olds, fool around, act like morons, don't use protection, get pregnant, bring a baby into the world when you're 17 years old, go from Delaware to Oklahoma to Kansas to Florida, all over the place, traipse all over, bring a baby all over the place. You expect a medal for that? Now, they have your stuff. What are the stuff they have that didn't get ruined in the shed? Who's going to make arrangements to pick it up? You don't expect them to ship it to you, do you?
Well, we had arrangements, they were told us earlier we were gonna have it, but they had said it was going out or nothing. The thing is that we wanted things we left, we wanted houses we left them. That's why we come here today.
Just a second, you want them in the same condition as when you left them? Then you shouldn't have left them.
That's why we had like an hour to leave here.
Just a second, hey, Stories. You may have had, let's assume that he gave you an hour to leave. I don't believe that. I don't believe that this man gave you an hour to leave with the baby. I believe maybe he gave him an hour to leave, but I don't believe he gave you an hour to leave. And you made the choice, reasonably, that you decided to go with your man. Now, so then you're gone, it's an hour later. So, how many days later did you call and say, I want my stuff?
it was about 3 weeks because I had to get settled in.
That's not their problem. That's your problem.
Well,
They don't have to look over your stuff and ensure that your stuff is in pristine condition. You left. Now, you
because
said that
they asked me if I wanted to be with him, and I said yes. So they said, fine, you have to leave too then.
well, they don't have to love him, they just love you. They love you. So, make arrangements to get your stuff. Your cost. You make arrangements with a truck to go and pick up your stuff, whatever is there. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you'll make arrangements for all the property that is currently in your possession to
She can
be
have it.
available to them whenever they arrange to have the truck. But you have to make arrangements to do that within the next 2 weeks. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
2 weeks, you have to do it. Did you bring the baby?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you seen the baby?
No.
then. Would you like to see the baby?
Love to.
Miss Eastwood? Who's got the baby?
I do.
In the back room? Baby's in the back room? Bring the baby inside. I'd like to see the baby too.
Your Honor, can I say something?
Yeah.
Even though they put us through this, okay? If he would show me that he could be a man, that's all I want him to be is a man. That's a boy there.
Mr. DeHoy,
If he would just show
he's a boy.
Yes, but if he would show me he's a man, give her a place and everything, I'd still be willing to help him.
Mr. Boyd, I understand what you're saying, sir. He's a boy. He's 18 years old. I've had 18-year-old children. They're children.
I know.
You know, they make do grown-up things here just because you can have a baby, you're an adult. It's not true. You can have a baby when you're 12. It doesn't necessarily mean you're able to have a family and be responsible. And they don't look because they're particularly together. What I'm going to try to convince your daughter is that right now you're with him. You may, Miss Eastland, be with him forever. Who knows? In the best of circumstances, even when you're not 16 and become pregnant and have a baby when you're 17, you do everything in a much more reasonable and mature fashion. Marriages often, relationships don't last, right? I mean, your mom and dad, I don't know how old they were when they got married, but their marriage didn't last, right? So you never know. You can usually count on your parents in times of need, and you know that. Miss Eastland, you know. I know you're young and you're angry, and right now, he's your life and your baby's your life, and that's okay. But if you cut them out, that's not a good thing. You know what I mean?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
So you look at her and you see that she looks a little like you, and that's a nice feeling. Oh, yeah.
Closed captioning sponsored in part by. Closed captioning sponsored in part by. Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
So I just took out, unraveled some of them, well, a lot of them, to make it more fluffier and fuller
Is this your
looking.
first grandchild?
It's her first.
Boy or girl?
Sure, girl.
Bert, can I see that baby? They know what the baby looks like, right?
Pretty.
She's very cute. Show her to her
Kelly is
grandparents.
giving
You don't,
Latin.
Miss Eastland, you don't mind.
Okay.
Miss Eastland. You're the one, believe it or not, at age 18, who's controlling this
And here's
situation.
Blaze.
You know that?
I'm gonna, this one I'm gonna flat iron her hair. I did curls earlier in her hair. I'm gonna flat iron her hair.
Who are you living with now? Does she have children? Mm-hmm. How many kids does she have? And I assume you're not going to stay there forever. You have to get up some money and start this. Where are you living?
I sell artwork. I make my own business.
What do you mean you sell?
I go like to public places with a portfolio. I design tattoos. I draw frame art.
Do you make a living? So why are you living with your sister?
Because I'm trying to save up money.
You got some money in the bank? So you are working, but you haven't saved any money. Are you working? Yes. Who takes care of the baby anymore? He does. So you have to job outside the house. No, I'm working at home. What kind of work do you do? I work at McDonald's. This is you. Very attractive young girl. Very articulate. think you're right. Now, this is not a disparaging remark against McDonald's. But you don't want to work at McDonald's forever. What do you hope for yourself?
I just want to finish school.
Are you in school now? You know, for many years, Miss Ginsburg, before I took my current job, I was a judge in the family court in New York. And I think probably over the 15 years that I was a civil judge in the family court, I saw hundreds and hundreds of young couples like you. And although you have the best of the country, most of these young relationships don't have a long life. Do you know what I mean? It's very important, Mrs. Easton, for a baby to have a rock. Some community that's always there. In addition to you, and to our father, but it's there for security, stability. Right now, you two kids don't have it. And it's a mistake for you to control it. To cut them off because they're never good for your baby. And that should be the unselfish thing that you feel. You made a baby at the wrong time when you weren't ready. But unselfishly as a parent, because you are a parent now, you should know that they'll be good for your baby. Have them as backup. So don't cut them off. You know what I mean?
Judge Judy continue. No moment. Are you
To be honest with you, Brody is holding her back. And that's unfortunate for a lot of guys and a lot of girls. They have babies early.
And she looks a little like you. Oh, yes. And that's a nice
And they
thing.
wreck each other's lives.
Sort of makes you feel sick.
But yet they want to still be together.
So your daughter's young. She made some mistakes. I have a feeling that you could help her out a little bit. Some extra things that she might need. And while she and Mr. Hart are going to come by and pick up the stuff that they need, if there were some things that got destroyed,
The one thing I can say about Brody though, at least he's with her. Like he didn't leave her, you know. He stuck with her.
time with you and the baby today? You spent some time with them moving through? You spent some time with their granddaughter? That would be the right thing to do. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Thank you.
Step up. Judge Judy continues in a moment. There you go. And on the next Judge Judy, I'll be back.
She knows how much I love her. I don't have to tell her. She knows that, right, Jane? I've never tried to hurt her in any way. I've always tried to be good to her. But boys, it's a different story. We just can't see eye to eye.
But you can't diss her. You can't diss your son though. At the end of the day, you can't diss your son. Or wait, that's not. Because they'll be sisters. Never mind. I don't know. But either way, you can't. If you're gonna accept the mom, you have to accept the dad too, because you know that's still the baby's father at the end of the day.
Friendlier than you should have, you know, being intimate, hugging and kissing or whatever.
The cuddling turned to chaos when he asked her to leave and then called the police.
Just a second. So what you're telling me is that you didn't start to yell rape until after he got on the phone.
After this, Flatiron, I'm about to get off the live.
The cases are real. The rulings are honest. This
Because I've been on for 3 hours now.
Professional cameraman William Spitaro
2-3 hours.
beautician Annie Smith to pay medical bills for a bitten finger. Anne is countersuing, claiming she was raped.
Order, all rise. Guys, case number 74, found in the Manos Vidaro versus Smith. President sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Well, the complaint and the answer in this case that I have is rather lengthy, so let me see if I understand the gist of it. You, sir, met the defendant in a nail salon where I assume you work? Hair salon.
Hair salon, look.
And you dated a couple of times.
Correct.
On one of those dates, you borrowed his jacket. Is that right?
Correct, but there was no dating
Where did you borrow his jacket? Where were you when you borrowed his
at
jacket?
his house,
Were you just there for what?
visiting, then we had lunch.
Okay, you didn't think of it as dating.
No,
Did you think of it as dating?
Yes.
the date is when you make an arrangement with a woman and you pick her up as a gentleman would.
That's here in 1969 or 1972, in 1998. I don't know if you won't pick up ladies anymore. My children tell me that you make arrangements to meet someplace, so that nobody has to be inconvenienced.
Correct.
In any event, you were in the house, you borrowed his jacket, you took it home. There came the time he wanted his jacket back. You decided to go to the house to return his jacket.
Correct.
Then you claim you were assaulted. Why don't you tell me about that?
Yes, Your Honor, I was expecting to get the jacket back. She says, yes, I'll bring it back. So she came over to the house, and I was watching TV at the time. She said, why don't you turn off the television? So I said, I really like the show. She said, no, just turn it off. So I turned off the TV. I had a feeling she wanted to become a little more amorous. I said, okay, because I can't remember if at that point in time she had presented the jacket. I don't think at that point in time she had. I think she said she was going to bring the jacket. She had the jacket with her then. So I wanted to try to appease matters. And we got into a little more of a physical situation. We ended up becoming intimate. And during, or immediately after the intimacy,
I said no.
she had
Well, give me your chance. Tell me your story. Right?
she had said, is there any way we can develop more of a relationship? And I said, I really don't think that we're compatible enough to work on a relationship.
But yeah, you're compatible enough to have sex with her? That's crazy.
So at this point in time, she left my bed. And at the bottom of the bed, she said, you know, I'm not a whore. And I said, I never said you were. She said, you know, if I don't break right now, there's nothing you can do about it. I said, you're absolutely correct. There's nothing I can do about it. So at this point in time, she walked into my bathroom and she started screaming rape. I mean, to the top of her lungs. I mean, she's screaming. I just beside myself, I go, what do I do with this? So adjacent to my bathroom is my second bedroom. So I went to my second bedroom and I called the operator and said, give me the phone over to the Vermont Police Department. She said, what do you need? And I said, you hear this in the background? And she's screaming rape. So she gives me the number and I call her from the police department. I said, get a car over here. This lady's irate. I don't know what's going to happen here. Please send somebody. So at this point in time, she left the bathroom and she walked into my living room. And she was calm. She sat down on my couch for a while. Then she got up and she started screaming rape again. And I said, it's just a matter of time. Why don't you just calm down? Why don't you just leave? Why don't you leave? You freely, because you didn't call the police. I said, yes, I did. I'm going to be here momentarily. At that one time, she picked up this statue and was going to throw it. Now, I've got a widescreen television, and adjacent to widescreen television, I've got a grandfather clock. And I was afraid of something happening to that. So I grabbed this, and I set this down on the table, and she swings at me. So I grab her hands. I said, it's only going to be a couple minutes, before the cops are going to be here. I'll be okay. So I'm struggling with her, and I bring her down to the ground in front of my front window. I'm holding her hands, because I know the officers are going to be here. We'll get this thing resolved. And she says, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. So it was either just prior to that, or after I released the grip on her hands, she reached over and bit my hand. And it was enough, I couldn't get my hand away. And then she let go. Then I noticed at the front window the officers, and they said, stand up and put your hands up. So I stand up and I put my hands, open the front door, he grabs me, and cuffs me on my porch. Two female officers walk into the house to sit with the defendant. So I'm standing out on the porch, and they're asking me what happened. And I ran down the situation. The female officer comes out and says, you know, she wants to have you arrested. Do you want to have her arrested? And I said, no, I just want her out of my house. So I ever wanted to have her out of my house. And she goes, okay, I'll go back in and see what happens. So they're in probably another 10 minutes, and then they all walk out. And at this point in time, the officer takes the cuffs off. But prior to that, the officer said she's been drinking, and she needs to have a ride home. Can she call somebody? And I said, yes. And that's accounting now for the variability in her interactions. She was real mellow when she first got to my house and became extremely irate. And they asked me, have you been drinking? And I said, no, I don't have been drinking. So she called someone to come and get her.
Is that the assault, sir?
Correct.
The assault was when she bit you?
Correct.
Okay. Did you ever get your jacket back?
Yes, I did.
How?
I called a friend of mine who's an attorney. He says, appease her. He says, call her and see if you get your jacket back. So I called her and she starts screaming to me on the phone. She hangs up. A couple minutes later, she calls me again. She goes, were you the one that just called me? And I said, yes. You know, I'm willing to call you. She said, okay. She goes, so we start talking. I said, why don't we just mellow this out? Why don't you just bring me my jacket? And maybe we'll work this out. So she did that.
What kind of jacket was this, sir, that was worth? That was worth, you were making another phone call to her.
It was the last jacket I had from a company that I've been with for 20 years.
What do you mean? Was it a specialty jacket?
Yeah, I mean, it had the logo on the back of the jacket, and I wanted that jacket. It was important. It was the very last item that I received from that company.
You were almost arrested and incarcerated, sir, because of something that she said. It seemed to me if you used your brains, you would say, I must have a picture of myself in that jacket. That's going to suffice. In any event, that's what you're talking about. The bite to your hand. Do you have medical records?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
I would be telling the police, can you go get my jacket for me? Because she's going to be talking about rape and all that stuff. But let that have been a black man, they probably would have arrested him on sight.
What was the date of this incident, sir?
December 20th. I let a couple days go by and I called a physician friend and said, could you take a look at my hand? It's been bleeding and it's getting enlarged. And he says, where were you been? I said, on my hand. He
Don't
said,
tell me what your friend said.
okay, I want you to get to emergency.
All right, tell me you got to emergency. I see, 6 days later.
He said I could lose my hand, that's why I went down.
I'm not interested in what he told you. That's hearsay.
Physician.
So,
That's
you have a bill. That's important.
correct.
Bill is important. What somebody said to you outside the court is not relevant and inadmissible.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
And you have to think with what's up here, not what's down here. And you say, thank you very much for my jacket. Goodbye.
In every generation, there are those who question the status quo. Questions like, why can't chicken be slow roasted? Why can't I have shredded purple cabbage? Why can't my quesadilla have cheese inside and out? And where's my avocado with salsa? The new era of chicken is here to stay. The Cantina Chicken Menu. Only at Taco Bell.
I forgot to wash my red shirt.
Just wait again. I added down the Unstoppables with odor blockage in the wash. So I'll close fresh all day.
Ooh, I'm gonna be feeling it at work today. And on my way to work. And the security.
So she uses Unstoppables too.
It smells like I'm actually paying attention. Down the Unstoppables with odor blocker for all day freshness. Smell unstoppable.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. 40-year-old cameraman William Spadero is suing for medical bills, claiming 37-year-old Ann Smith bit him. Ann says he forced himself on her, and she was defending herself.
Now, Miss Smith, he's told me his story. Why don't you tell me your version of it?
I went over to return his jacket, December the 20th. Must have been approximately 8:30. And when I went in, I don't remember if he was watching TV or not, but he immediately stood up to be friendly and cordial to me. And he had the fireplace going, and we started talking. I don't remember whether he turned off the television or not. The point was that we ended up getting a little bit friendlier than we should have, and then I said no. And he went ahead, when I, you know, being intimate, hugging and kissing or whatever, and then I said, no, I don't want to have sex with you. And he decided that he was so excited, he would just do it anyway. And after he was done, I said, you know, you didn't use a condom, you didn't anything. And so, and I was in tears, I started crying. And then he says, no, this is it, you have to leave right now, immediately you have to leave. And I said, I want to go to the restroom and I want to clean myself because I could be pregnant, anything. I want to go to the bathroom and I want to clean myself up so I can leave as a dignified woman. And he said, no, you're not, you're leaving right now. He grabbed my shoulder as I went into the bathroom, very firmly placing it on my shoulder and trying to pull me out of his bathroom, treating me as though, you know, I was, you know, some kind of dog. Just throw me right out. Do whatever you want and throw me right out. Then he goes to the back room, he says, no, you're leaving right now. And he goes back and he picks up the telephone, and I don't know who he was calling, but he said he's calling the police. And I thought, how can he do this? I mean, how can he do something like this to a woman? Then now he's going to call the police on her after he's done that to her? So I started screaming rape. Because when a woman says no, that means no.
Just a second. So what you're telling me is that you didn't start to yell rape until after he got on the phone.
Police.
Until after he got on the phone. Well, what are you yelling rape for?
Well, because he's playing games with me. Won't let me clean up so that I can leave his house. And yet he wants to call the police on me. It doesn't make sense.
Oh, what you did doesn't make sense. First of all, I read your answer. Your answer said you were on your way out for an evening with your boyfriend. And you decided to go over that evening to return his jacket.
Yes.
And that was about 8:30.
Right.
And what time you
night?
to meet your boyfriend?
10:30.
So you left yourself 2 hours.
Right.
And you got there, and according to you,
Because we were friends somewhat. Excuse me.
according to you, there was some hugging, some kissing, some fondling, some whatever. Right? You're there to return a jacket.
Right.
At this point, I don't hear anything about no rape, anything else. What bothered me about your response here,
But I said no.
what bothered me, that's what you say now. What bothered me about the response, and what you say to me now, is that I can understand that if that's what happened to you, going into the bathroom and starting to scream rape so that you can get help and trying to get out as soon as you can, that I absolutely understand. But you just told me that you were angry because he wouldn't let you go into the bathroom and
He
clean
wouldn't
up.
even let me clean myself up after he did that to me.
Something doesn't sound right, Miss Smith. It just doesn't make sense to me. The conversation that he says that took place.
I would have kept that on me, and I would have went to the police department
About
or the emergency room, actually.
possible future relationship you say never took place when you were lying in bed. That conversation.
Lying in bed together. It wasn't like that. It wasn't, you know, it wasn't like that. We weren't laying there having some torrid affair. It wasn't like that.
How did you get in from? How many rooms?
If you were out with your boyfriend, why didn't your boyfriend go with you to drop the jacket off to another man's
So you
house?
came in, fireplace. Where's the fireplace?
In the living room.
In the living room. Would you explain to me how you got from the living room into the bedroom?
We walked in there together.
So,
If you were going into the bedroom,
He was showing me something on the wall.
come on.
Certificates on the wall.
Come on.
Now, where were you? Just a sec.
Come on. Girl.
Making this up as you're going along.
No, I'm not making this
Sure
up.
you are. Sure you are. I mean, nothing.
He took me to his bedroom because he was showing me some certificates on the wall. Girl, no, he's about to have your legs on the wall. That's what he's about to do.
But I'm not convinced, madam, that you're telling me the truth.
Facts.
Because if you're going to return somebody's jacket,
That's like at the door exchange.
jacket, I'm going to meet my boyfriend. You end up in the bedroom looking at etchings, right? Then you have a problem. Then I begin to question everything that you're telling me because even according to you, you ended up in the bedroom. Where were you doing the hugging and kissing and smooching? And then right in the middle of the hugging and kissing and smooching, he said, I'd like to show you my etchings in the bedroom.
Time to slow down.
Then he said, I want to show you my etchings in the bedroom. And so you decided to go. Were you dressed or undressed when you went into the bedroom?
Dressed.
Fully dressed?
You mean, come on.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment.
What you're telling me is you wanted to leave?
I wanted to leave.
You didn't want to leave.
Closed captioning sponsored in part by
At Burns Honda, step into our bright and welcoming showroom.
This is why you should not be going over somebody's house that is not God ordained. That is not your husband. That is not your wife. This right here.
Burns Honda treats you
I don't know if y'all are hearing this.
that you will get upfront pricing and the comfort of knowing you're making a smart choice on your next vehicle. Burns Honda in Alton treats you best.
Bridget, you are a brilliant woman with two wonderful children. Embrace the chaos.
You're going to die. We're having fun.
Darling, we need to get back out there.
Bridget is always exciting out of skirt.
Oh my God.
Hello, old friend.
Not enough to survive. You've got to live.
Was that the devil enough?
Just Harry Styles, isn't it?
This film is rated R. If home internet is really home internet, shouldn't it work throughout your whole home? That's why we engineered our Xfinity Gateway to seamlessly deliver Wi-Fi from room to room.
Educator, union leader, mayor, Sean Spiller is the only candidate with a statewide track record of defending our economic interests. As governor, Sean will stand up to MAGA extremists and Donald Trump.
Enough with rich corporations getting all the benefits while the rest of us pay more and more.
This is what we do at REU every single day. We protect the rights of people through collective action. Sean Spiller will fight for all New Jerseyans. Sean Spiller for governor.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. William Scudero says Ann Smith bit him. She says she was raped.
You spoke to the district attorney in this case. Is that right?
Yes, I did.
And did you indicate to them that you wish to press charges in this case?
I decided to drop it.
You decided to drop charges.
Yeah, I'm not going to go through 2 years of court fighting over something like this.
That you said you were raped? But you said you were raped.
Yeah.
The district attorney told me she got no...
Don't tell me what the district attorney said. That's hearsay.
Okay.
Because, is it Spadaro?
Correct.
Mr. Spadaro, you don't get any awards for gallantry, sir. Because according to your complaint, which I read, and quite frankly, as a woman, I wasn't too thrilled with, you said you really weren't interested in a relationship with this lady even before she came to return your jacket. But as long as she was there, you gave it a shot.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it sounded. That's not what you said, but that's pretty much what I read between the lines, right?
Correct.
And then you gave it a shot, and assuming that everything you're telling me is accurate, that you are lying in bed and she says to you, listen, we're going to be going out and we're going to have a relationship. And at that moment, you decide to tell her, I don't think we're compatible. That doesn't sit too well with a woman.
It doesn't.
Prior to that.
It really
Well, if you
doesn't.
told her prior to that, sir, then you have to think with what's up here, not what's down here.
They don't have to...
And-
I understand.
And you say, thank you very much for my jacket. Goodbye.
She didn't bring the jacket at that time.
Then you say, go get my jacket and come back when you have it. Do you understand what this is about?
Right.
Instead of saying, well, I have nothing to do between the hours of 8:30 and 9:30, so, either I can have a bite to eat or I can, bed down with Smith. Not smart, not nice, not chivalrous, In any event, you can't buy him, Miss Smith. And you did buy him. And you did buy him.
You didn't let me finish.
Yeah, he was on top of you and what?
After he finished calling the police,
Uh-huh.
that's when he grabbed me and he said, you're not going anywhere. You're crazy. I'm going to make sure that they take you and put you away. He grabbed me and then he threw me down and he forcibly sat on top of my chest.
And he
holding both of my arms.
What you're
But with
telling
all
me
of
is
this, why didn't you keep the
wanted to
charges
leave.
against
I wanted
him?
to leave. You wanted to leave.
Yes,
Who wanted you to leave?
I wanted to leave
He
too.
says he wanted you to leave.
I wanted to leave too.
Why didn't you want to leave?
She didn't want to leave.
No, why wouldn't he let me leave?
Did you go to the hospital that day?
I went home. My pops came back with me to get my car, and I stayed.
You should have went to the hospital if you got raped.
My daughter didn't get a Christmas. I ended up taking psychotherapy.
You would have went to the hospital.
I have the bill.
They would have did an emergency swab check on you. They would have swabbed around your vagina area, and they would have came up with his semen, and he would have been arrested for rape.
That I doubt the veracity of your story. And that's what I'm here to do. Your story doesn't make sense. It's not common sense. It's not what happened. Well, it doesn't make sense for a woman to go over to somebody's house on their way to meet their boyfriend and end up
Right.
half naked, walking into their bedroom, looking at etchings. Right? That doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't.
This is not a joke.
I'm telling you, I don't think it's a joke. That doesn't make sense to me, man. If that's what you want me to believe. You want me to believe that you were there merely to return his jacket as a friend. Right? That's what you...
I say I'm not here to have a good time. You know, I'm not.
Judge Judy is ready to rule.
New downy, comfy, cozy combines softness and scent to unlock
She's trying to keep herself from exploding.
the highest state of comfort.
Cause what does I'm not here to try to have a good time, girl. What are you talking about,
Transform your effort
girl? What?
to cozy. New downy, comfy, cozy not only combines softness and scent.
And unfortunately, there is women. Listen, men, women, don't be having sex out of marriage.
Want justice? Call 1-888-800.
You better wait till you married. Shoot.
In any event, your medical bills were $539, sir.
The emergency room. Then I had an additional physician at the hospital. Yeah, somebody did the blood analysis. Then there was a physician that met with me. Then he ran some HIV tests. So I'm not sure all those bills are there. The different
Well, you got $539, they got $80. You got $80, you got $71.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
That's sort of... Part of this you are responsible for, sir. You exercise very poor judgment.
Absolutely.
So you have to assume that he's part of the responsibility. Don't you believe you do?
Sure.
Good. So I'm giving you $200, that's all.
Okay. Bodies are excused. You may step out. Thank you, Your Honor.
Judge Judy will continue in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I think it's a travesty that something like this can happen. Because when a woman says no, that means no.
It wasn't a rape.
No is no.
You know, it
No means
wasn't a
no.
rape. This girl was
It means yes,
consensual.
dude. No.
This lady was consenting to the whole thing.
Girl, if you really got raped, you would have kept on with them charges.
She wanted a relationship.
Right. And a lot of women do that. A lot of women would have sex with a guy and be like, so am I your girlfriend? And they'd be like, no. And then they'd be like, rape. That's a mental thing. It's very demonic. And it's manipulation. For anyone that doesn't know, I'm watching Judge Judy. But after I'm done with this side, I'm getting off of live.
They were out front, and I said, I looked in the car, I was like, what happened to this? And he was like, oh, I hit. He's like, oh. I'm like, what are you guys going to do? And that's...
I did just a second. Would you speak in English, please, and slowly?
My best friend. Did he get her?
Did anything else before?
That's incorrect. She was hitting me.
Listen, you picked him.
True.
You picked him. I didn't pick him.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Shineland. The people are real. The cases
Ooh, the
are
flat
real.
iron is
The
busting.
rulings are honest. This is her courtroom. This is Judge Judy.
Bodies on Delise versus Williams.
curls were busting, flat irons busting.
18-year-old Vanessa Dulise says 20-year-old landscaper Eric Wiggins punched a hole in her dashboard, wrecked her car, and threatened her life.
Order, all rise. Yes, case number 60 on the calendar is a matter of Dulise versus Williams. Parties of this morning, Judge. You may be seated. Ladies, have seats.
You folks were engaged to each other, according to these papers. You are suing him because you say he damaged your car, he damaged your house.
Correct.
Let's start with the car.
I purchased the car on December 6th of '97 for $6,050, and approximately within 2 weeks after I got the car, I did a hit and run situation.
What do you mean he did a hit and run?
We went to my friend's house to pick up a dog that we purchased for him, that we got for our friend James, and when leaving, he did not realize that a car was next to him, and he cut the wheel all the way to right, hit the car, reversed out extremely fast, and drove off.
And you were with him?
Yes.
So what did you do?
I told him that we should go back and see whose car it was, because it wasn't right, and he insisted not to.
So what are you suing him for?
Suing him for the damages done to my car.
Or what damage was done to your car?
The whole front driver's side fender.
You have an estimate?
Yes, I do. I also have pictures.
Now, I assume you had insurance for this?
No, my insurance won't cover it since I wasn't driving.
Oh, that's not true. That's not true. Why didn't you report it to your insurance company?
In fear of what Eric might do. He told me if I was to tell anybody, do anything, then he would hurt me.
Okay, so this you say happened in December.
Correct.
And were you engaged in January?
Yes.
And February?
February was when we broke off.
When in February?
February 14th, Valentine's night.
Fine. So you were together in December, Christmas, for New Year's.
She really needs a trim.
Right? Correct. Madam, I wouldn't stay with anybody 2 minutes and threaten my life if
Right.
I told them about an incident. You have insurance for
Baby
this,
girl
that's what you
needs
pay
a
for insurance
trim.
for.
I have no liability. It won't cover the cost of my car.
You didn't let them
If you guys
know
can see,
the day after the incident.
all these little
about the
pieces right here, this is all split ends.
Correct. All right. I'm not going to let him make excuses, but I'm not going to let you make excuses either. You were with him in the
These
car.
are
You had a
all
responsibility.
split ends.
Now you say that she caused the damage to the car.
Yes, she did.
Well, then look here, right
She
here.
had a pole in the parking lot and kept driving.
That's
Got to my house. Got to my house and saw the damages to the car, and she left.
This incident that she's describing to you doesn't ring a nose.
See all these?
It didn't happen.
No,
Yeah,
that's a complete lie.
These are all split ends.
I'm Kim.
And breakage.
I heard Eric. I've been friends with Vanessa since we were in second grade. She's my best friend, and he did her wrong.
The what?
He did. He's clearly making her look like. There's so many incidents. Okay.
Just a second. You know anything about this
Yes.
accident? Were you there?
I was not there. I came home from my work, and they were out front, and I said, I looked at the car, I was like, what happened to this? And he was like, oh, he's like, oh. I'm like, what are you guys going to do? And
Now, I didn't just a second. Would you speak in English, please, and slowly? You came home, you saw the two of them outside.
That's all breakage and split ends.
Outside smoking.
right, they're cigarettes. And I said, what happened to the car? Because the car was right out front of her house. And Eric said, oh, I hit something. He just said something. I didn't ask. And I was like, oh, what are you guys going to do? And Vanessa kind of just looked at me like, I'll tell you later kind of look. And then later on, Vanessa said, oh, he just said, don't say nothing, or she'll get it. So I was just like, okay. But I heard Eric say, I hit the car.
You didn't know. You heard him saying it's something.
Something, excuse me.
That's what you said, right? Sit down.
Okay, you guys, I'm about to get off of live. I've been on live for like, what, 3 hours now? 2-3 hours? So, I am getting ready to get off. Thank you guys so much for hanging with me. Thank you guys so much for the likes, the comments, the shares, the subscriptions, subscribing to my page. I'm going to add my Instagram and my threads down there as long as my website. I don't sell anything. I just blog. So I talk about God Food Fitness, and of course hair care on my website. So you guys can go check that out now, www.godchildrenhaircare.com. I'll put the link in the description box. I haven't added it yet, but because I forgot, but I'll do it now. Yeah, and I don't know the next time I'll be on live, probably Friday. Because I have school and work the next 2 days. So, but who knows? Because I get off early, so who knows? But turn your post notifications on so you'll know when I'm coming on live. Again, thank you guys so much for joining me. And yeah, I'll see you guys later.